Hello and welcome back to the Tapping Into Abundant Success podcast. My name is Vicky Chisholm and I am your host. Today's topic is all about unlocking self-love in a way that allows you to bring inner peace into your life. Let's change the dialogue and create more inner peace. It's time for you to stop your inner war now. I remember when life was very challenging, overly complicated, nothing was easy, everything was a big, massive struggle. And in amongst that big, massive struggle was my own inner war. There was no contentment, there was no inner peace. It was just a constant battle. If I wasn't fighting external situations, I was fighting all of my internals. My heart and mind would be arguing against each other all the time. Always trying to do what's right versus doing what's safe. Trying to be perfect. Yes, I was a chronic perfectionist. Everything needed to be just so or I wouldn't relax. But the inner war was more than just that. The inner war was everything. But as I started moving along my recovery journey, I realised that the only person my inner war was actually impacting was me. But it was also filtering out and impacting other areas of my life. So that inner war that I felt inside had to change. But how can you find inner peace when you are just in complete stress, worn out, exhausted, conflict? When your whole being is telling you something, but you can't trust it because of other people's judgments and opinions. That type of inner war is the most toxic of all. Because you know, and you just have this deep knowing deep inside you that something isn't right, or that something needs to change, but no one else can give you the answers, and no one can give you the evidence you need to move forward. That's when it becomes really problematic. So as I sat with all these internal conflicts, I realised I'd never known what inner peace meant. Having a calm mind, having a calm body, what would that mean? What would that even feel like? I had to stop in my tracks and I had to feel into it. I had to try and imagine what that would be like because I didn't want to live what I was living anymore. I didn't want to live in constant state of panic and worry and fear and doubt. I wanted to live with peace and happiness and joy, but I never knew what it meant. So how the hell could I tap into abundance when I have all this internal war going on? You can't. And I definitely couldn't. So I invite you today to tune into your own mind, your own body, your own heart, and just ask, what is this inner war really about? Sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. Do you know what it is you truly want? Because if you do and you've got an inner war going on, then you can explore that and you can look at the deeper aspects of what's going on with it. But if you don't know what you want and you don't know how to get there, then the inner conflict and the inner war will stay with you. So how can you open up to being the best version of you? What inner wars do you need to let go of? Do you need to learn to trust yourself regardless of what anyone else says? My personal experience with trusting yourself is, you know, deep down in your heart, you know. And sometimes you just can't follow that knowing. But when you do follow that knowing, without having all the evidence, without having all the logic, without having other people to back you up, validate what you're feeling, that's when you'll be truly in your power. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've been in that situation where I've just felt something, or I've just known, and it's just, other people have said, no, don't be silly, that's not it. And 6 months later, they'll come back to me and say, you were right. Your intuition was right. And I think this is where a lot of people get themselves stressed, because your intuition doesn't always come from logic. Your intuition is coming from a higher power, your inner wisdom. And your inner wisdom can only do so much. But you have to start listening to it. If you want to let go of the inner war. So here are some steps that I took to help me find my inner power. I started journaling between the conflicted mind and what I really wanted. Well, what's my mind telling me and what do I want? My mind was telling me fear. My ego was feeding me stories of fear. But my heart was singing for more. But my mind was keeping me trapped. And that was one thing that kept me stuck in an abusive relationship for many years. More years than what I should have been. Sometimes situations come into your life for a reason. But the only one that can truly bring you happiness is you. Self-love is where you learn to trust yourself beyond anything you've ever known. Is where you feel into your heart and you listen to the heart's mind. Now, I remember when someone said that to me, and they said, Vicky, step out of the ego and step into your heart. And I just looked at them as if to say, what are you on about? Hello? You're talking goo-goo woo-woo crap at me right now. I don't understand what you mean. But all they meant was get yourself into a relaxed space. Find some time to quieten the mind, to relax the body, and listen to what your heart really wants. Then you can do the work to calm the brain, to catch up. The brain, the ego, the amygdala, the flight and fight response, your stressors, they're all there for a reason. They're not there to punish you. They're not there to stop you from having what you want. They're there to teach you, to show you, to help you. Because once those fears were really helpful to you, they helped you survive. But when we haven't healed those survival instincts, they stay present. And then they become a hindrance. So we have to let go of the past to be able to step into the future, to be able to be present in the now. So who would you be if you could stop the inner war now? Where would you go? What would you do? What would inner peace feel like to you? How could you fully embrace inner peace in the most magnetic and abundant way? How can you embody that? What do you need? I remember a client came to me once and she said, Vicky, I just can't deal with what's going on right now. She said, my head and my heart are just constantly fighting with each other. And I flip between really feeling into my dreams, into what I want, and then I sink with, I can't do this, what's the point? Who am I to even try? And she just kept flitting between these two extremes. There was no middleman, there was no balance. It was just extremes, from 1 minute being really, really energetic and excited and embracing the moment, to the next moment feeling really exhausted and drained and fed up and miserable and stuck and trapped. Majority of the women I work with will come to me and say, Vicky, I feel so stuck and I don't know how to get out of this hole. And it's doing work like this, of understanding the inner conflict, of knowing what you truly want and what's really holding you back. It can be a massive pivotal point. But the thing is, sometimes in your mind, your subconscious can block you from achieving what you want to achieve. And the subconscious can say all kinds of things to you and hold you back without you even knowing you're doing it. So let's set an example. You set a goal, and that goal is a little bit beyond where you are. And when you are a little bit beyond where you are, your subconscious will come up and sabotage you. And your behaviour you'll do something and you'll go, I don't even know why I did that. It doesn't make any logical sense. You see, the subconscious mind is not logical, but it knows a hell of a lot, and it gives you so many clues and keys to be able to take the next steps forward. But we're so caught up in today's society of do, busy, that we don't get an opportunity to actually sit with it, to hear it. So here's a real classic one, right? You've decided you're going to go on a diet. And you are going to eat salad. And you're going to eat potatoes, jacket potatoes with salad. And you're going to eat loads of veg. And you're going to eat loads of protein. And you are not ever going to put another biscuit in your mouth until this diet is set in stone and in full swing, right? But the second you make that decision, what do? You go into the kitchen, you open the cupboard, you get the biscuit barrel, and you sit and devour half a packet of biscuits. And you go, I just said I didn't want to do that. And then you go and do it anyway. This is the power of the subconscious mind. It will stop you from achieving what you want to achieve, even though consciously you're saying you don't want to do it. It will test you and it will push you and it will make you look at things from a different angle. So now, where does that leave you? It leaves you in conflict. I know what I want, but for some reason, I just can't have it. Open your heart, open your mind to the inner war that you have going on inside of you. And then choose to take one action today to help you love yourself anyway. The more you tune into self-love, the less power self-sabotage can have. Your inner war only comes because you haven't healed yet. There's something that you need to learn. There's something that you need to evolve with. There's something that you haven't opened up to yet. It's your time now. Stop the inner war. Open your heart. So you can be at peace. So you can evolve. So you can unlock abundance. In the very early days of my coaching and learning about healing and energy psychology and learning about how energy was controlling my mind, all the negative energy I was holding and how it was impacting my mind and my thoughts and my feelings. Because trauma is stored in the body. And as I was learning and growing through it, I developed this ebook, and it was called The 9 Steps to Happiness, How to Rewire Your Brain. I still have it. If anybody wants a copy, just reach out and let me know. But it did make a big difference to my life, and it did make me realise, because I'd gone from never knowing what happiness truly meant to being really happy in my own skin, in my own life, in my own world. And I once felt that happiness was completely impossible for me. Happiness is never an external source, it's always an internal. And it does live within you. And when you quieten the inner conflict and you sit with the energy of unconditional love for who you are, it's a very, very beautiful place to be. Sometimes we need a little bit of help along the way though, and this is why I do what I do. I help women get unstuck so they don't have to feel stressed, trying to figure it all out on their own. I use my intuition. We look in at where the energetic blocks are and we release them. And it happens so quickly. And it brings the most amazing changes. But for you moving on today, for you learning how to quieten the inner war and find peace within your own inner conflict, it starts by looking at what your life would be like when you find that peace. Some people have become so attached to the story of drama that they don't know how to live a peaceful life. And some people are so connected to the emotional roller coaster. They need the emotional roller coaster to thrive. But these are all just habits and behaviours that have been taught, and they can absolutely be unlearned. You reclaiming your power, you choosing to find inner peace, you choosing to let go of the old and transform is what will help you unlock abundance in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in your finances, in your dreams. It all comes one step at a time. So choose today to be the day to take step one, to unlock the inner conflict. Let go of the inner war so you can rediscover who you really are and tap into more abundance. If you have any questions or you need any help and support, please do reach out. It's exactly what I'm here for. In the meantime, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.